Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome back. My name is Aries. If you're new, I am your online BFF. Alright, we're gonna talk about positive topic and positive message because I don't want to grow myself, okay? I want to grow with you guys too, okay? Because I believe that everyone has the chance to grow. So I don't want to grow alone. That's the first thing that I want to achieve, okay? I want to grow with you all, okay? That's the thing. So today's topic, we're gonna talk about something a bit sensitive. I'm not sure whether it is sensitive or not, but it is actually about saying sorry at a workplace. And actually it is a very powerful word for us to use. And it matters more than we think, okay? And I realized this one thing, that I keep on saying okay in my previous videos. Like I keep on saying okay, like I keep repetitive. So I'm really sorry that I know that it's a filler word, but it is a habit for me to keep on saying okay, alright. So get used to it. So yeah. Alright, so back to the topic. Saying sorry at work. I know I trigger a lot of you, and when I want to ask you, like, when was the last time you say I'm sorry at work? Okay, let's be honest. When? I'm asking you, when? It's not casually, not out of habit, but truly mean it. You mean it, you mean it. Because in the workplace, those two words can feel heavier than they should, awkward, uncomfortable, even risky. But what if I told you that saying sorry isn't a sign of weakness? Being vulnerable at a workplace and saying sorry, it is not weak. It is one of the strongest things that you can do. You see, there's a misconception about apologizing, saying sorry. Somewhere along the way, we learned the wrong lesson. We started believing that, okay, if you apologize, you lose authority. If you admit a mistake, you look incompetent. If you say sorry, people will respect you less. So what do we do instead? We defend, we justify, we stay silent, and slowly we build walls instead of trust. Okay, the real cause of not apologizing, let's be honest, because mistakes happen at work. That's first. We know that there is miscommunications, missed deadlines, wrong decisions, tone that came out harsher than intended. None of us are perfect. But when we don't acknowledge these moments, something breaks, Trust weakens, tension builds, resentment grows quietly in the background. And the worst part is it is unavoidable, Because what a real apology means, a real apology isn't just a words, it's ownership. It is saying that I see what happened, I understand the impact, and I take responsibility. No excuses, no blame shifting, no but. Because the moment you add but, you take the apology back. Okay, we need to have emotional intelligence at work. Not only in relationships, not only in family matters, but it also applies to at workplace. Here's a deeper and more emotional rich expansion about what we're going to talk about. It's being emotional intelligence. Let's talk about something that quietly shapes every workplace, but rarely but this topic is actually very rare to talk about because It's about emotional intelligence. It is not about how smart you are actually. It's not about your degree. It's not about your master. It's not about how long you have been in your role. It's about something much more deeper. Okay? I don't care if you're older than me. I don't care if you have much higher educations than me. And I don't care that how long have you been in that job positions for I don't know how long. Okay? It's about how you handle yourself when things don't go your way. This is what we call self-awareness. Emotional intelligence starts with awareness, recognizing your tone, your reactions, your impact on others. Because sometimes it is not what you say, it is how you say it. A rush reply, a sharp tone, or maybe it's in disrespect tone, a moment of frustrations, like the way you use the word, the phrase, the way you structure your message, your sentence, the way you deliver it. You may forget it in seconds, I'm pretty sure, but the other person, they carry it longer than you think. Okay? And here's the hard truth. At work, your intention doesn't matter as much as your impact because you are just a staff. Okay? You might not have meant to sound dismissive sometimes. You didn't intend to ignore someone's idea as well. But if that's how it felt for them, that's the reality they experience. And emotional intelligence means being willing to say, I didn't mean that, but I understand how it came across, why you are thinking like that. Okay? That's where real professionalism shows up. Not in being flawless, but in being accountable. Anyone can take credit when things go right, isn't it? But it takes emotional intelligence, emotional strength to take responsibility when things go wrong, to pause your ego and choose understanding instead. Because the workplace is full of pressure. Deadlines, expectations from your bosses, miscommunications between departments. And in those moments, your first reaction is rarely your best one. Emotional intelligence is the ability to pause before you respond, to choose clarity over impulse, respect over frustrations. So it's also about empathy, not just hearing words, but understanding what is behind them. That colleague who seems distant, maybe they are overwhelmed. That team member who make a mistake, maybe they are already harder on themselves than you think, than you realize. When you lead with empathy, your words change, your tone softens, and your workplace becomes human again. Okay? And this is where when saying sorry becomes really powerful, because when it comes from emotional intelligence, it is not forced. That's first. And it is not scripted. It is real. It says that I respect you enough to acknowledge this, and I value these relationships enough to make it right. And that's how trust is built, not through perfections, but through honesty and awareness. Same goes applied to romantic relationships or family matters. It is the same. Trust. Okay, I'm pretty sure that everyone out there is not perfect. There's no perfections in this world. As I mentioned in my previous video, there's no perfect person in this world. So how are you going to build a real relationships? It is by trust. Okay? Having a trust. And how can we gain a trust? Trust is being built. Okay? It's very simple. Trust. I'm not telling you to straight away you try to wishy-washy or you try to people pleasing Testing. Okay, just now the video just finished, so I need to retake again. Okay, so it's not that I'm telling you to people please everyone and all in the first place. No, it is not. Okay, you see, honesty and awareness is really important when it comes to building a real relationships. If there is no trust to begin with, try to be honest and try to be self-aware of yourself. Okay, I am not telling you to become so perfect in such a way. No, I'm not telling you that. It is just a simple human basic manner that saying sorry, apologizing for whatever you did, for us, for to acknowledge what mistakes that you have made instead of pushing it and ignoring the mistakes that you have made and you didn't even acknowledge it. And what's the purpose of us to keep trusting you? There's no trust to begin with. That's funny, you know. And I still find some people still acting in that way, and it's such, I don't want to say they are a loser. No, I don't want to say that. That sounds so harsh. I just don't get this kind of people, you know. Yeah. So emotional intelligence is a quiet strength. You need to know that. It's choosing growth over an ego, connection over control, understanding over being right. And in a workplace where people and everyone is trying to prove themselves, that kind of awareness stands out, you know, because at the end of the day, people won't remember every task you completed, but they will remember how you make them feel. And emotional intelligence is what makes that feeling count, you know. So why is it so hard to say sorry, you know? Because of fear of being judged, you know, like losing credibility, looking like you don't have it all together, like you look like a fool, you look like incompetent. That's what you're thinking. But here's the truth, people already know you are not perfect. They don't expect perfections, they expect honesty. Okay, imagine this. You make a mistake. Instead of avoiding it, you addressed it calmly, clearly, sincerely. I'm sorry, that was on me. No long explanations, no defensiveness, just ownership. You know, what happens next? What happens? Something shifts, okay? I give you an example, a scenario, okay? Maybe a boss to employee. Maybe this staff, you miss deadline, okay? I give you an example, okay? An employee missed an important deadline. The team is delayed and pressure is so high. So your boss is just gonna like, if the boss like doesn't have emotional intelligence, they're gonna just ask, why wasn't this done? This is unacceptable, you know. Why is this so getting slow? What? And the employee is being defensive, obviously, because they're gonna say that I had too much on my plate, you know, no one told me it was urgent, or maybe I had too much work and tasks that you have give to me. So now the room feels tense, isn't it? No one is taking ownership. Both sides feels misunderstood, and the real problem still isn't solved, you know. And how are you gonna tackle with this? The boss is supposed to have the emotional intelligence. They should address this, okay? You're supposed to say that, hey, I want to address this. Like, I realized that I didn't clearly communicate how urgent this deadline was. That was on me. Sorry about that. Or maybe if you think that your employee is having so much on their plate because you keep giving them projects and all, then you say, oh, that's on me, sorry about that, maybe I can try not to put everything on your side. I will, okay, Okay, you see, notice what just happened. That boss didn't lose authority. They gain respect from us. They gain respect from that particular employee because they realize that there is a miscommunications. There is a mismanage here. So I need to step up. That is authority, that's a very simple thing. People gain respect for you admitting that, oh, he acknowledged and addressing the issue right here instead of blaming you, instead of blaming that staff, isn't it? So obviously the staff gonna appreciate that because they clarified it. Okay, so now there's accountability. We know that on the both sides, and more importantly is trust between the staff and the boss. Okay, and we know that sometimes conflict didn't disappear, but it didn't escalate either. We know that because someone need to choose awareness over an ego. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm just broke. Yeah, okay, so we're gonna wrap up this video. So we know that these moments happen every single day, in emails, in meetings, in a quick conversations. I can say it's every time. Like, you have a choice to protect your ego or build the real relationships. Because saying sorry isn't about admitting defeat, it's about choosing growth, choosing respect, choosing to be someone people can trust. And even when things go wrong, in the end, it's not the mistakes that defines you at the work, it's how you respond to it. We can say that this is the ripple effect. I'm gonna summarize this. Okay, you see, the tension drops, the conversations opens, okay, and the trust begins to rebuild because your apology gives others permissions to be human too. We are human. We are not born in a perfect. We are not perfect, okay? We are humans. It creates a culture where people don't hide mistakes. We need to learn from them. Leadership, when it comes to a leadership role, this matters even more because your behavior sets the tone. If you never apologize, your team won't either. So sorry to say that. Because mistakes will be buried, problems will grow, communications will break down. Trust, please don't say about trust. The boss gonna lose trust. Lose trust. Is that what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, the staff gonna lose trust because of the disrespect that they receive. But if you own your missteps, sometimes you create a psychological safety, and that's where real performance happens. So how to apologize effectively? Because we need to make it a practice. A meaningful apology has 3 parts. Acknowledge the mistake. I missed that deadline or whatever. Second, recognize the impact. I know it affects the team's deadline. Okay, example. Recognize the impact. And third, you take responsibility and commit to it. That's it. Simple, clear, powerful. So you try to avoid saying, I'm sorry if you felt that way, or maybe you say that I'm sorry, but that's not sincere actually. It wasn't entirely my fault, and then blah 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 blah. That's not a proper sorry. Those aren't apologies. They are defenses, and people. Okay, So you need to remember that those aren't apologies, like they are defenses, because people can feel the difference instantly. Okay, whether you are being genuine or not. So it takes confidence to admit you were wrong sometimes. It takes strength to take responsibility, and it takes character to put your ego aside for the sake of growth. So, no. Saying sorry actually doesn't make you smaller. It makes you stronger, Because over time, these small moments build something bigger. A reputation, not of someone who never makes mistakes, but of someone who owns them, learns from them, grows because of them. And that kind of person is respected everywhere, So the next time you feel that hesitations, that moment where your ego tells you to stay silent, pause for a while and ask yourself, what matters more, being right or building trust? Because in the long run, the people who grow the most are the ones who are not afraid to say, I was wrong. Two simple words. Two simple words. I am sorry. I am sorry. Two simple words. And use it sincerely. And in result, they can repair relationships, strengthen teams, and transform the way you work. So don't avoid them. Don't fear them. Use them. You need to use these words. Okay? So that's all from me for today. And thank you for watching. And I really appreciate it, okay? If you're watching until the end. And if I sound so bitchy or something else, okay, I'm sorry that, okay? Because I'm so hungry. I need to eat now, and I haven't even eaten my lunch, which sucks, okay? So thank you for watching. If you find this video resonated with you, feel free to give me a thumbs up. And yeah, that's all. And see you guys in my next video. Girl, boys. Yeah. Bye bye. Thank you for watching.